Fans of period dramas have found their new favorite show. Watch this video to learn why Cynthia Nixon decided to take on the role of Ada Brooke. Find out how much CGI was used to hide a late's pregnancy. And discover why Louisa Jacobson was terrified of Christine Baranski.
Well, my character is, of course, old money.
Let's dive in. Cynthia Nixon as Ada Brooke. The actress was enthusiastic about the project from the first moment she heard about it. Part of the attraction was how different this role is from her other ones. Cynthia revealed that it was a nice change. "I don't always get to play these gentle, loving, hard-on-their-sleeve kind of characters," she explained. But Nixon was also eager to have a reunion with Christine Baranski. The two had already worked together on a Broadway play in the mid-1980s. Back then, Cynthia played Christine's daughter, although their age gap is not that big. So this time, it was quite easy to establish a special sense of intimacy between the sisters. From the very start, Nixon and Baranski thought about their characters as more like an old married couple than siblings. And this mindset helped them create the proper dynamic, full of niggling irritations, but rooted in love. Off-screen, Cynthia's life is nothing like Ada's. She was in a relationship with photographer and teacher Danny Moses for 15 years. The pair shared 2 sons, who are all grown up now. In 2003, Nixon and Moses split and stated that no third party was involved. However, the following year, Cynthia surprised everyone when she started dating LGBTQ activist Christine Marinoni. It wasn't love at first sight and completely unexpected. "I was like, this person is undeniable," she revealed. "How can I let this person walk by?" The actress has never been involved romantically with a woman before. Moreover, she didn't plan to marry her new love. Nixon and Marinoni announced their engagement in 2009, but decided to wait until gay marriages became legal in New York. And while they waited, another wonderful thing happened. 2 years after getting engaged, Christine gave birth to her first child, Max Ellington Nixon Marinoni. A year after that, the couple had a romantic wedding ceremony on a city rooftop. Now, let's move on to Nixon's on-screen sibling, who suffered a great loss in love. Christine Baranski as Agnes van Rhijn. While Agnes is the matron of old New York, the actress who portrays her is one of modern New York's most celebrated theater performers. In fact, she didn't come to Hollywood until her 40s. Baranski was happy being a stage actress and leading a quiet family life in a rural Connecticut home. Christine married fellow actor Matthew Cowles back in the 1980s. You might remember him from the soap All My Children and from Shutter Island with Leonardo DiCaprio. But Matthew mostly preferred to be a stay-at-home dad after the couple welcomed their 2 daughters to the world. In fact, Christine revealed that she started doing TV work because they couldn't pay the bills with their theater earnings. Nevertheless, Baranski's husband was always enormously supportive and proud of her career. Sadly, Matthew passed away 8 years ago. Christine was devastated and disoriented. When you've had a 30-year marriage and sat across from this person every morning having coffee, it's so strange, she shared. Her daughters and grandchildren helped her cope with the loss. But it was also her work that made Baranski move on. Just a few months after her husband passed away, Christine had to be back in front of the camera. And although it was hard because of her grief, it helped to be with her co-stars from The Good Wife and The Good Fight. They all knew and loved me. So going back to work was good, explained Baranski. Actually, Christine was surprised at how successful she'd become. It amazes her that, even now, when she's almost 70, she is still getting great roles, like Agnes in The Gilded Age. She was easily convinced to take on the part.
Nobody writes a snob like Julian Fellows. I've got the huge costumes and the witheringly snobbish lines.
The other reason was the cast, consisting of actors with a theater background. On another note, there was a newcomer to the show who was literally terrified of Baranski. But we'll get to that later. Right now, let's talk about the new money people, starting with the cast member who had to hide something while filming. Carrie Coon as Bertha Russell. She's one of the most interesting and human characters on The Gilded Age. So far, we haven't got too many details about the Russells. Still, one thing is for sure, George and Bertha are crazy about each other, even decades after their first meeting. And they are a perfect match. The same can be said about the real life of Carrie Coon. She started off as a stage actor who played a wide range of characters. After a decade of theater, Carrie moved on to TV and film, where she showed a fluidness rarely seen in Hollywood. Her most memorable roles were in Gone Girl and the series The Leftovers. Most recently, she played Callie in the movie Ghostbusters Afterlife. "I've had a terribly charmed rise," recalled Coon. "There are few stories that are quite like mine. Roughly a decade ago, she met the love of her life. actor and playwright Tracy Letts. They got married a year after they first laid eyes on each other, and although Coon herself thought that showmances don't last, the couple are still going strong. Carrie revealed that her husband always asks her to weigh in on all of his scripts, something she's so moved by, and their special day was nothing like a typical Hollywood wedding. Coon and Letts had their unconventional nuptials in a hospital. The reason? Tracy required emergency gallbladder surgery the day before their marriage license would have expired. Carrie doesn't just play a mother of two on the Gilded Age. She and Letts also have 2 kids. Their son is almost 4, and their daughter was born just last summer, which means that Coon was pregnant while filming the show.
I know, it's shocking.
That definitely presented a challenge for the show's costume department. The actress revealed that they managed to mask her pregnancy for most of the shoot, so there was very little CGI used. Next, we'll see if the actor who plays Bertha's husband is anything like his character. Morgan Spector as George Russell. Amazingly, the actor admits that he's a wife guy on and off screen. The relationship between the on-screen couple is quite unusual for their time, but Morgan says it's the healthiest on the show, and they're all actually rather difficult to write and to play, because just as in real life, a good marriage requires constant balancing. Fortunately, Spector can draw from his own experience. He has been married to British screen star Rebecca Hall after a whirlwind romance. Like some of their co-stars on The Gilded Age, the couple met on stage. They have now been together for almost 8 years and share a daughter. The couple prefer to keep their relationship out of the spotlight, but Morgan recently gushed about his wife in an interview. "I think we're complementary in some ways. We're always engaged around work, but we're not the same kind of thinkers, which I think is fantastic." Being married to a successful actress doesn't necessarily mean that Spector doesn't have a thriving career of his own. He's known for his roles on Boardwalk Empire and Homeland, although you might not recognize him on those shows, as he doesn't sport that prominent Russell's beard. Next, let's talk about another familiar face some of us struggled to identify. Harry Richardson as Larry Russell. This Australian actor's credit list is not that long yet, but Richardson already has some experience in working on a long-running period drama. He played in the British series Poldark from the 3rd season onward. And what's more intriguing, he is to date his co-star, Eleanor Tomlinson. They became an item right after Harry joined the Poldark cast and were together for around a year. It seems like their split was amicable. However, for a whole year after that, Richardson didn't date anyone. He then had to move to the US to film The Gilded Age. The pandemic delayed production though, and Harry felt frustrated with being alone in the Big Apple. Until he met actress and dancer Juliette Doherty. He reveals that his world is now infinitely brilliant because they are together. Next, let's talk about the actress who became the show's scene stealer. Denée Benton as Peggy Scott. While her character is an aspiring writer, Benton is already a star. The Tony-nominated actress was a Broadway regular in musicals like Hamilton and appeared on the TV show Unreal. In her love life, she's also successful. Denée and her now husband, Carl Lundstedt, both studied acting at university and dated for 5.5 years. One day, on a very regular Friday, Carl proposed. The actress revealed that she is very controlling and doesn't really love surprises. Funnily enough, that was exactly what her boyfriend did that day. He tricked Denée into going to the Metropolitan Museum to help him look for his lost wallet. Then got down on one knee right there. She said yes, and the two started preparing for their big day. Benton grew up in Central Florida, so it was very important to her that her elderly family members be able to attend the wedding. Also, the young couple made sure that the venue had never been the location of a slave plantation. Thankfully, they found such a place and had a beautiful outdoor ceremony 2 years ago. That year had more great news in store for Denée, the casting for The Gilded Age.
Who doesn't love a period drama?
Yeah.
But you can't take it for granted, and so I'm really excited.
In portraying Peggy, Benton's goal was to give her as much dignity as possible. She felt that this young woman should be representative of Black upper middle class of that time period. On another topic, viewers of The Gilded Age couldn't help noticing that despite being of the same age, Peggy is more worldly than her friend Marian. In part, that is also true for the actresses portraying these two characters, and you're about to learn why. Louisa Jacobson as Marian Brook. The Gilded Age marks Jacobson's TV debut, but that doesn't mean she had no previous acting experience. In fact, she got a call from her agent while working on a different historical project, Romeo and Juliet, at the Old Globe in San Diego. The details about the character she was to audition for were limited. However, Louisa was interested right away because of the show's creator. During her college years, she was a fan of Downton Abbey.
So this is like my ideal situation to parade around in gorgeous costumes and live out my Edith Wharton.
She was definitely thrilled to be part of Julian Fellowes' project. However, during her first weeks on set, Jacobson felt quite intimidated, being surrounded by all the household names. And she was especially frightened of Christine Baranski, not only when she portrayed Marian's strict aunt, but off-screen as well. Baranski even had to calm her down, explaining, "Louisa, that's my character. Me, Christine, I support you and I adore you." This confusion is even funnier when you know that Jacobson's mother is acting legend Meryl Streep. Louisa is the youngest daughter of Streep and her husband, renowned sculptor Don Gummer. Jacobson's older sisters, Mamie and Grace, are also actresses. It's unclear why exactly Louisa chose to go by her middle name as her stage name. Most probably, she wanted to carve her own path and not be yet another Gummer girl. And so far, she is doing fine with that plan. Jacobson is private about her love life, and we don't know if she's currently dating anyone. But that was before she landed in the spotlight as the star of the Gilded Age. We'll keep an eye on her and her fellow cast members to inform you about every new detail of their lives. Thanks for watching, and check out our other videos about the Downton Abbey characters. Stay awesome!